Okay, in this video, we will see what actions leads to the bad icon choice and how to improve your icon choosing skills. Okay, why do we care for using good icons? The reason is not so simple. Often people consider using icons as the easiest way to make slides looks good, but if you use it wrong, it could ruin the slide big time. So you can see using good icons is a key to creating good slides that are easy to understand at first glance. And they seem simple to use, but there are so many details to make using them very complicated. So, and in this video, you will, of course, to check those detail points to judge the bad icon uses, so you can avoid the same mistake in our platform and eventually getting a good rating. So the point one. So if you're using the image format icons, for example, JPG, PNG, GIF, like etc., instead of the SVG format icons, then it is very, very no go. So why should we only use the SVG format icons? So there's actually the two main reasons why we need to use the SVG icons, not the image formatting icons. The first main reason is because it is very difficult to change the colors in image formatting. And of course, that will cause the slides to contain the colors that are against the guidelines. So if you see the examples over here on the right side, so you can see so now we have a SVG, and if you have the SVG icon formatting, it's very easy to change the color, and then it's whatever color you would choose, it will show directly like that. But if you use the image formatting icons, then it's going to be very difficult to, first of all, choose the right color, and then you're showing the right color formatting. So for example, if you can see on the screen capture, if you have this picture formatting, then it's, as you can see, the color choice you have is very limited. So I really recommend you to not even putting the image or any type of image formatting icons, and it's a super no-go. And no matter how correct the icons are, you will get the bad rating because of this. And it is very, very difficult to change it from the image icons to the SVG because we don't have those tools and we don't use the tools. So basically what the admins will do, or you will do when you ask for to rework, you need to basically find the icons, the same icons you have put in as image to the SVG. So it will take a tons of time. So please, from the beginning, make sure you will always use the SVG formatting icons. So the second point. So if you're not using the same icon style across the deck, that is also a big time no-go. It's because it will ruin all the consistency and the alignment in especially in the big file. So we have a lot of different types of this icons. Well, there's a four main types of icons where our clients are mostly fond of. So as you can see, we have a dotted with thin line. So here's our examples of it. And we have this simple regular line icons. And one thing you need to make sure, even though both are in the line, like linear style of the icons, if you mixing these two icons, then it's still considered as not consist. So you need to make sure if your file you're working on or your client you're working on, they set like simple regular icons, then you need to make sure you will use this, not mixing with this like detail line icons. So there's a difference. So you need to make sure your eyes are get used to like to see the differences. And we also have color field icons. These are more considered as conservative type of icons. So you will see a lot of these financial or like management consultants that will fond of this type of very I would say, old-fashioned icons. And we have a very creative type of icons, which is a combination of this and then a field icon. So line with field highlighted elements. So you will see some of the clients, their icon style in the guideline. They define you need to make sure that it's line, but also need to have a highlight. So these are the four very main type of the icons our clients are mostly fond of. And then usually the icon style is defined in the guideline. So unless the guidelines specifically ask to use a different types of icons, I almost guarantee there will not be any cases like that. But then consider the default rule is one icon style per one deck. So no matter what, you need to make sure you will find the same icons, same style icons throughout the deck. So that means you cannot really mixing around with this and then all of a sudden one slide contains like this or the slide contains like this or this and this and this. That's a complete no-go in our platform and we cannot really help it. We will just send it back to you and then ask you to rework and that will take tons of time of yours. And continue of that. So we have noticed that converting when we ask to convert some of the icons to the right style. So for example, converting the field color icons to the simple line icons because the guideline says so. But then we also see a lot of the designers they do this. So instead of their finding the goods and the correct simple regular line, what they usually do, you take the color field icons and then come and then use the shade fill with white color or as a non-shade fill color, and then use the like putting the outline. So this is very wrong, and this the result of this process it will never going to fly. So for example, if I just zoom in, you can see this one is the correct simple regular line icons. So you can see this is a very well organized and a very smooth, and there's no like zebra jabbering, the weird thing. But if you zoom in this version, then you can see this is like you can already see this is not going to be good because it has all the different thickness of the line and it looks already even though it's a one icon it looks very inconsistent. So you need to make sure you will never use this and make sure you will find the new icons which like suitable with the contents. So if you cannot find exactly like these icons, then it is completely alright to find something else, but as long as it fits to the contents, there's no problem. So you make sure you will never do this and you're always trying to find, the correct style icons instead of using like cheat key, which is not even gonna fly. And this is it. This is strictly forbidden. Okay, so you might think, okay, but then there's so many different types of icons, and if you go to like FreePix or those like icon websites, it is kind of hard to define the one rule because it shows a lot of research, which is very good for us to give some inspire, but it's not going to make it a little bit difficult to find the consistent icon style. So we have developed the very nice tool which will make it very easy for you to find the very consistent style of the icons. So you can basically use it in our platform. It's our internal normal platform icon search tool. So just make sure you can only access this tool when you're actually working on the active project. So while you're on the platform, you will see these icons. So I will also explain you how to use this easy way. So first, once you click these icons, you will get this. So you just need to type whatever keywords you're looking for. So if you're looking for the keywords, then just type the keywords. And then next step, you will probably ask to choose the style that match with the current project guidelines. So just to check the guideline and what kind of icons that the clients needs to require to use, then you just need to choose the one of the icon style. So there you can see there's a lot of the different style, but you just need to choose one based on the guideline. So once you set up this style, then you just need to enter. Then since the search tool will only present the same style or whatever style you have to select, so you can stay within the same style icons. You don't even have to worry, okay, what if this is not the correct style? So all the admins are using this tool while we're finalizing or reviewing the designer's work. So I really highly recommend you to get used to use this icon search tool in our platform. This is very helpful based on my own experience, and I hope it will also give you a lot of this time to save. Okay, so we have another bad point. So also, not only selecting the good icons, placing the icons is also very important. So we have a very three big main issues we have noticed in our platform. So first, we need to make sure the icons will never be after the heading or the contents. So they should be before the text on the left, not the after on the right when in line with the text. So you sometimes you will see in the inspiration files that the icons are actually placed like this on the right hand side or the downside instead of the left before the text. It's because that has been outdated, and then we are delaying to update those all the inspiration files. So just a general tip: if you see that in the inspiration file, and unless the guidelines are specifically ask you to put it into the right hand side or the before after the text, you need to follow the guideline. So that's more like my general tip, my personal tip, because we are more keen to update the guidelines and then push back a little bit for the inspiration, because the guideline is the one that you can give you very good insight of how the style is supposed to be. So if there's an inconsistency between inspiration and the guideline, try to go with the guideline and then just inform to the admin. Then you will have no problem. So that's the first point. And the second point is the giving the good margin is also very important to present the nice icons. So if you put the icons on top of the other icons, the other shapes, sorry, then if you give too much margins, or if you give too less margins, and it will not going to look that good. So as you can see, the first and then the second uh, examples, it looks this one, it looks pretty ridiculous, and this one also looks like it's almost hard to figure what kind of icon is it. So the good margins is basically in here and then placing in the middle, and then they have nice spacing, but it's not too much. So to giving the good margin on top of the another shape for the icons, that is the second point. And the third point is when you don't have any text box or some shapes that you can place on the icons, it's very important to make sure to give a good margin, a good spacing between the text and the icons, and try to align it perfectly instead of trying to do this way. Because in this way that you cannot really see, okay, is this related to the first line or is this just floating on the content? So please make sure you will be very keen of the aligning and then making sure it's a little closer to the icon to the contents. Okay, so the next point probably is the most basic but the most important points that you should consider when you choose the icons. It's the first thing you will consider when you choose the icons. Basically, using icons that are not related to the contents, and this count as a content mistake as well. So it's not only you will not only getting this bad icon usage tag, you will also check the contents mistake as well. So let's see. So I also have this example to show this. So the key is to read as many contents as possible, not just the headlines or the headings and titles. So as often the heading does not really contain the key information. Yeah, some slides you can figure out what they're talking about right away when you're reading the content heading, but most of the cases you need to actually read a little more follow-up contents. So for example, you can see we have a two text box. Let's see, we need to use the icons, and in the heading, both of them they have this how and why. I mean, eventually um, we just need to put some icons and two different icons, but how and why kind of belongs to the question. So we also see sometimes that we they put these question marks on the both sides, and that is completely wrong. So what you need to do, you just need to read like one or second lines, or more than that. So if your time allows, and you read more. If you don't, your time does not allow, then well, just read like one more sentence, and then we'll figure out. So in this case, the when we just read it, like how we need to digitalize our clients' data in order to make the process faster, progress faster. Sorry. In the next slide, we will present our digitalized tool board. Okay, so once we read a bit more of the contents and we can figure out the correct icon we need to use is a digitalization, and it's not how. Okay, let's see another example. So we have why. The headline is why, and then contents. Our competitors have already launched many different tools. We are already late in the marketplace. However, this will be the only chance to win over competitors. Okay, once we read it through, then we know the correct icon is competition or competitors, not why. So this is a way how you can figure the correct icons, not only reading the headlines. This is like really big tip that we can give it to you, because it will happen sometimes and often, and then you will be very, how to say, confused that okay, I cannot really use the same icons, the same question mark icons. So what should I do? Just need to read a little more. Okay, so let's recap. So what are the actions you should do to avoid the mistake mentioned earlier? So first, make sure you only use as-rich icons. Do not use the image formatting icons. And use same style icons throughout the deck and throughout the slides. And place the icons correctly. And make sure the icons always before the text. And find only relevant icons for contents and keywords, and heading do not always match each other. You need to make sure to remember this. So finding icon is not only from the heading, but you also need to consider that also comes from reading through some of the contents more thoroughly. Okay, so that was it, and I hope that was helpful. And thank you, and please explore our other videos, and see you next time.